Excellent, excellent.
We are not just doing the cosmetic activities for the Kashmir. We are.
You sit down.
बैठो,
Don't
चले लो, चले पे
don't
बैठो.
stand.
Faisab also. Faisab was my guest in Denmark because last year in October we held international Kashmir convention and Kashmir conference. So first day was totally with all European countries, and you know the Safi Sahib, Ghulam,
And
G.N. Safi, Ghulam Nabi Safi from Pakistan, and he's from actually from Baramulla. You know him, might possible. He's a convener right now for all parties Hurriyat conference.
I see.
So he was also there, and all the representative from the Europe, and Dr. Faisal from here, he was there. So on that time he said me, when you visit US, you should visit Yusuf Sahib, because he is encyclopedia in Kashmir. So I think it's my pleasure to be here.
Thanks. Where are you from originally? Your family from Kashmir?
From my family from Kashmir is from Jammu, and it's
Jammu?
Jammu,
Achha.
and it's the region
उर्दू
called
बोलते हैं उर्दू बोलो यार सर
Halka Tokri.
Eh?
Do you know the Halka Tokri? It's a region over there in Jammu.
I see. But you are not Kashmiri speaking. No.
No, we are from the Jammu region. So over there, you know that they speak some near to Punjabi, and then after partition, we moved from Jammu to Sialkot.
I see.
So Urdu speaking is everybody is right
I
now.
see. What is this young lady doing?
What are you doing? Writing something? Zan, Sadaf, शुरू से clip ना, that's an important question that I'm going to ask. Because I heard you are the companion of Quid-e-Azam also. So you
Not
met
a
him.
companion, not a
You met him. You met him before partition also, and when you were in Aligarh University, yeah. So there is some very interesting event that's happened, and when you met him first time, so that's I want to know actually. That I want to listen.
Well, I think a wrong story has been given to you. There's not much happened. I mean, I only say I had the privilege. It was a day, Quid-e-Azam, we were reading about him. He was in Calcutta. Then one day at lunchtime, we used to get the newspaper from Delhi at lunchtime in Aligarh. So there was a little news there. Mr. Jinnah left by Tufan Mail, Calcutta News. So we said, oh, Tufan Mail comes this way. And we said, it should be here around this time. And it was with great difficulty those days that we got a cab from the university to get to the station. Because we said otherwise we won't make it. It so happened, we got to the station and the train came in, Quid-e-Azam was looking out the window and you could recognize him from a distance. Even then the train was supposed to stop in Aligarh for 10 minutes. But the engine broke down.
Engine broke down. Okay.
So they had to repair the engine. It took them 35 minutes to get it. And we had Quid-e-Azam to ourselves. We were three of us. We had him for the whole, because the other boys did not come. They didn't expect that the engine would break down. They said, it's no use, the train stops there at 10 minutes. What can you do in 10 minutes? So that was the story I told some people.
Yeah. Dr. Pai told me that's interesting story that you have on that time when the independent movement was at high and Quid-e-Azam had very busy schedule. At that time you got a 35 minutes.
Exactly.
To,
And he had, I still, Quid-e-Azam, besides other things, he was tweed coat, Shirwani. But on the way it had been warm, so he had his buttons and he was wearing a Malmal kurta under his Shirwani, and I remember him sitting there.
So, please small जो clips बनाए छोटे-छोटे क्योंकि उसको upload करना आसान होगा. Because it's a very interesting story about the Quid-e-Azam and a lot of people, because I want to put some stuff on online media. I want to put some online stuff about the Quid-e-Azam because a lot of people, they love the Quid-e-Azam, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and they want to listen the every aspect of life. Everybody knows a small aspect, so the people want to know about him. So what's your opinion about him?
Opinion, there's no question of opinion. I mean, he was the ablest leader that Muslims of the subcontinent have produced. After Sayyid Ahmad Khan, the founder of Aligarh, Jinnah was the second most ablest man from the Muslims of the subcontinent.
That's a.
And it is his genius which helped the creation of Pakistan. If the movement had fallen into other hands, it would have floundered.
What was the speciality in you at that time? Why the Quid-e-Azam asked the Nehru to give you Pakistan as a war? Because he said that's they want you in Pakistan as a war prison. So what was the specialty in you that Quid-e-Azam specially named you to take it from Gandhi and Nehru at that time?
His integrity and his consistency.
So it's his integrity and his insistency. When there should be something special about you. That's why Quid-e-Azam spoke about you.
No, Quid-e-Azam, I don't claim anything that Quid-e-Azam. I say I had the privilege of meeting Quid, that's all. I'm saying nothing else would be exaggeration.
Where did you meet him, man?
So he meet him first.
My friend, I had a friend, must have heard the name K.H. Khurshid, who became Quid's secretary. Khurshid was my younger friend. He was 1 year junior to me in college.
Aligarh. So what's because on that time Aligarh was the institute who that produced a lot of intellectuals, that lot of founders that founded the Pakistan.
The other name you should remember is Muhammad Ali. The Ali brothers were Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. Shaukat Ali was the older brother and Muhammad Ali, and they were from Rampur, which is in UP. Muhammad Ali Johar.
Muhammad Ali Johar, yeah, everybody know him, yeah. Yes.
And his brother Shaukat Ali.
So how was your experience being the ambassador in Switzerland and your bureaucrats, and you can say that how was your experience especially working with the United Nations?
United Nations, I mean, actually the United Nations resolutions on Kashmir were our charter of freedom, but India's intransigence has not been overcome by other leaders, world leaders. They have proved totally indifferent to Kashmir. It's our complaint against world leadership, two things, the Palestinian issue and the Kashmir issue. Well, Palestinian issue can be covered by some kind of a compromise. Kashmir, there is no compromise except self-determination.
Self-determination. That's we are also working in Denmark. That's the issue we are also working in Denmark.
If I were in better health, I would come to
I am here also to invite you because in 27th October, you know that it's a Kashmir Black Day, and we have a meeting inside the Parliament House of Denmark, and we have invited some very supreme leader, those who are working for the Kashmir cause over there, along with the Danish parliamentarian. So it would be our pleasure, and it would we feel honor if you will be there also.
Yes, but it would be my pride, but I'm advised by the doctors not to undertake.
Not to travel, yeah. So, because Faisal told me you are a complete encyclopedia about Kashmir. In your diplomatic career, what you suggest how the Pakistani government and Azad Jammu Kashmir government can help to solving this issue, or they can put a pressure, or what they can do? What you suggest?
To be frank with you, I will be, their pressure, they won't know how to apply pressure. And then, even if they did, it wouldn't lead to any results. Something has to happen on the ground. You can't do it only by conversation, by words, unless there is resistance in Kashmir. Resistance to Indian rule, which Kashmiris are doing, but they are not doing as much as it would be. It's a question of you need a medication. Well, give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
The medication will be effective if you take 5 pills. It won't be effective if you take only 1 pill.
Mm.
You're taking the right pill, but not in the right quantity. So that applies the same.
So you mean the struggle of freedom in Indian occupied Kashmir is not that much powerful that it should be?
Exactly. And that is not only hardals and all that.
Yeah.
There are so many ways. In schools, in the boycott kind of thing.
But how it's possible when only a one part, like Sayyid Ali Gilani part, is showing some kind of resistance, but the major part.
I know. We Kashmiris are responsible for our own misfortune, because we haven't done what we should do for our own freedom.
Yeah, because a lot of people take part in the election. So you are thinking about the school system, so they are going to be a part of Indian government as indirectly.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's.
I'm sorry to say, and I say it because I am a Kashmiri. Kashmiris are part creators of their own problem. Kashmiri, Sheikh Abdullah was a Kashmiri. Bakshi Ghulam Ahmad was a Kashmiri.
Right.
I mean, responsibility were to be divided for the problem of Kashmir, Sheikh Abdullah would get at least 40%. 40% is a huge proportion.
Yes. So it's mean that the 40% is saying that okay, we are going into the election and we should be. So that's make the struggle weaker. That I interviewed.
And many Indians would not have favored India's policy if they had not been deceived that Sheikh Abdullah represented the people of Kashmir and they agreed to Indian occupation. The whole problem would have been different.
How you think that's after the Burhan Wani's shahadat? How the circumstances changed in right now?
Well, can't say they have not changed. I don't think they have changed. To be frank, we are talking frankly about ourselves. No. By the way, I knew very little about Burhan Wani. How old was he?
He was just 25.
25?
Yes.
And what was he doing as a profession? What was he doing?
So, because Faisal told me you are a complete encyclopedia about Kashmir. In your diplomatic career, what you suggest how the Pakistani government and Azad Jammu Kashmir government can help the to solving this issue, or they can put a pressure, what they can do? What you suggest?
To be frank with you, I will be, their pressure, they won't know how to apply pressure. And then even if they did, it wouldn't lead to any results. Something has to happen on the ground. You can't do it only by conversation, by words, unless there is resistance in Kashmir. Resistance to Indian rule, which Kashmiris are doing, but they are not doing as much as it would be. It's a question of you need a medication. Well, give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
The medication will be effective if you take 5 pills. It won't be effective if you take only 1 pill.
Mm.
You are taking the right pill, but not in the right quantity. So that applies the same.
So you mean the struggle of freedom in Indian occupied Kashmir is not that much powerful that it should be?
Exactly. And that is not only hardals and all that.
Yeah.
There are so many ways. In schools, in the boycott kind of thing.
But how it's possible when only a one part, like Sayyid Ali Gilani part, is showing some kind of resistance, but the major part.
I know. We Kashmiris are responsible for our own misfortune, because we haven't done what we should do for our own freedom.
Yeah, because a lot of people take part in the election. So you are thinking about the school system, so they are going to be a part of Indian government as indirectly.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's.
I'm sorry to say, and I say it because I am a Kashmiri. Kashmiris are part creators of their own problem. Kashmiri, Sheikh Abdullah was a Kashmiri. Bakshi Ghulam Ahmad was a Kashmiri.
Right.
I mean, responsibility were to be divided for the problem of Kashmir, Sheikh Abdullah would get at least 40%. 40% is a huge proportion.
Yes. So it's mean that the 40% is saying that, say, okay, we are going into the election and we should be. So that's make the struggle weaker. That I interviewed.
And many Indians would not have favored India's policy if they had not been deceived that Sheikh Abdullah represented the people of Kashmir and they agreed to Indian occupation. The whole problem would have been different.
How you think that's after the Burhan Wani's shahadat? How the circumstances changed in right now?
Well, can't say they have not changed. I don't think they have changed. To be frank, we are talking frankly
Frankly,
about
yes.
ourselves. No?
Hmm.
By the way, I knew very little about Burhan Wani. How old was he?
He was just 25.
25?
Yes.
And what was he doing as a profession? What was he doing? Pictures of Burhan Wani. To Faisal will forward them to me.
Yeah, we do it right now.
Achha?
Yeah.
You have some pictures?
Yeah, can you show me some picture of Burhan Wani? He is a very beautiful young guy. That's why he's a beautiful young boy. That's why the people.
शिफा तुमने उठ नहीं सकती.
Where is his father?
His father is also over there. He is a teacher, and he's a teacher in Kashmir. He's from. Can you see? He's from, I think so, Baramulla also.
Yes.
He is a Burhan Wani. You can see he is a very beautiful guy.
Yes. How old is this picture?
It's
Probably
just
last year.
last year, before he got the shahadat. So before that it was. So it's you can see this was. And you know when they buried him,
I see.
so you can see here it's
Now, when his shahadat was when?
it's just 2016,
2016.
May 2016.
May 2016.
16. Yeah, just you can say not a
9 months ago.
years. It's 9 months ago.
Who is this?
He's his companion. He was also he got also shahadat.
He's a Kashmiri.
Both are Kashmiri. Both are in Makbuza, Kashmir right
He
now.
also got shot.
Yes, he also got shahadat. So he's also his friend.
I see.
So you can say after shahadat, he just 9 months. He died now. It's his picture of shahadat. So that's me. He is a
No,
look at
okay.
him. He is a very beautiful young boy. That's provoke everybody. Yeah, that yeah.
Think not करें अल्लाह की कसम.
Asha, he has brothers and sisters.
Yes, yes. And his father was so proud that Indian media came out at that time. Indian media said,
Ram se बैठो ज़रा.
it's said I am feel very satisfied because he is accepted by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So his interview give the more strength to the struggle.
और है कुछ पूछना दिल?
Yes. Of Burhan Wani, there's a symbol of his picture right now on every struggle.
Oh my God, it's a lot of questions.
Allah Mukhtar Kare, Allah se. And then you know the last year the United Nations president is from Denmark, and we invited him with us over there in Denmark, in Copenhagen, and we told him the whole history of Kashmir, and we also requested him to play his role in United Nations. And now we also send the questions and queries to the ambassador of Denmark who is going to in Pakistan. So we had a program in Copenhagen with him, and we told him, so use your pressure to put India on table. And we also put through the senior Smith. She is a parliamentarian in Denmark. So she is coming also in October month in United Nations. So we have give her a lot of questions to ask her and to put the pressure. So that's what we are doing, and we are doing regularly, and every 5th of February we are doing protest outside of Indian Embassy to free the Kashmir, give the independence to the Kashmir. So in this year we did Copenhagen main city hall. We did a huge protest. A lot of people, like you can see, I have some pictures. So you can see it's just a month before. It's a very winter over there in Denmark, so the people are protesting.
These are Kashmiris. No.
These Pakistanis and Kashmiris together in a Copenhagen, and you can see here.
बस कर तो.
And it's I printed from their website, the parliament website. So these are also in Danish language, everything here. That just before coming to you, I printed them. And there is a one picture that I want to show for Dr. Ghulam Nabi Fai. वो picture बेटा कहाँ है जो आखिरी print की थी हमने? It's a Fai, Dr. Fai. He is a G. N. Safiq, the convener of All Party Hurriyat Conference in Pakistan, and he is the Naib of Sayyid Ali Gilani.
I see.
And he is a Ghalib. He is the president of Tehreek Kashmir Europe, all the Europe, and originally from Azad Kashmir
But lives where?
in UK.
In UK?
In UK.
I
He lives in Islamabad, and he is your companion, you know. He is the president of Tehreek Kashmir UK. And here I am, the hosting of this first Kashmir conference, the Copenhagen, Denmark. So here we are protesting outside of Indian Embassy, you can say.
Freedom for Kashmir.
Stop human rights violation.
Yes.
And we are keep doing these activities.
It's the best that can be done. Whatever one can do.
Yes.
Whatever one can do.
Yes. So
But वो उन्हें आवाज नहीं आई है ना?
let me know, I can ask you.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, you have a couple of questions more too, right?
Yeah, because it's my pleasure that I am here. We came from Washington DC just to meet you.
Well, they're very, very kind of you.
It's our
I
honor.
appreciate
We
it.
feel,
I appreciate it.
and we are really obliged that you have a slot spare for us.
Well, I mean, it's a pleasure, really.
It's important clip.
तो मैं कर रही हूँ.
Anything.
I'll send it to you. Because I don't want to do it like this. I'll send it to you. Faye will tell me, you know, how to send it. That will be between you and Faye, and Faye and me.
Okay, yeah, good. Inshallah. So, I'm really happy to meet you.
Please don't sit on the chair.
I'll see right here.
You see, there are other chairs.
So, everything is okay with you? Life is going on?
How long have you been? What you did for that?
His question is, how long you've been here in this apartment?
I have been here. Actually, I don't exactly remember how much, because I have lost some memory. I was sick. Because of my sickness, I lost some memory. But on the whole, I have been here since the 1990s. I retired from the United Nations. I was for some time on the staff of the United Nations because I wanted to get life insurance and citizenship. So I have been here for some time. Before that, I was running, before you were born, I was running what was called Free Kashmir Center with headquarters with the United Nations. That is how I stayed there for. That was called Free Kashmir Center. Actually, we have no continuity. For example, the literature I produced those days, that could be easily reproduced, but there's no effort.
Not many people effort for that.
Shukr hai, phir bhi, whoever can
Participate.
commemorate Kashmir is a big service.
That's a big service.
It's no use asking ourselves, it doesn't lead to anything, what is the point? It is to convince whoever, there may be one person who will be impressed that these people have a cause. He tells another, a kind of a movement starts like that. If we think what is the output, nothing. then we do nothing. Then we forget we are from Kashmir.
पूछो कौन से शहर पैदा हुए थे?
So he is asking which city you born in Kashmir.
Huh?
Which city you born in Kashmir?
Srinagar.
You were
Srinagar.
born in Srinagar. You were born in Srinagar, okay. And how long did you stay in
Not
Srinagar?
only I was born there, I matured there. Then I went to Aligarh. I had my education in Aligarh. After that, those days, there was an examination, a competitive examination for Kashmir civil service. So I stood there first. But then came the Pakistan movement, and then I was put in jail by the Abdullah government, and then Pakistan had some prisoners in India, and they wanted those prisoners back, and so they exchange of prisoners. So I was
One of
Yeah,
those.
exchanged to Pakistan.
the Quid-e-Azam named him because he's a genius guy at that
Huh?
time. He stood first, in Aligarh University.
Wow.
So he stood first in the exam. That's we call right now we call the CSS right in Pakistan. And that in that time it was exam in whole India for the services. Especially in Kashmir they also have some kind of where I remember Shahab is also did the same. Qudratullah Shahab is also did the same.
Allah Ta'ala get us more faith. He was one of my dear friends.
He was one of your dear friends. That's why in Qudratullah Shahab, it's an encyclopedia of Pakistan also, and it's one of the best book in Urdu literature also. I think so. So in that book, he also named Muhtaram. So about he praised him very much, and yeah. When I told my friends old friends in Copenhagen that I'm going to meet you, so a lot of people sent prayers.
My regards.
Yes, sure I will. Thank you. So we don't bother you anymore. Take your time. So now we say goodbye to you.
Can you leave me your
Yeah, I will.
something here
Yes.
so that
Sure. It's my business card in cash.
you spare it?